Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are safe, you are well, and you are with people you care about who also care for you. We've had quite a mixed week in the garden here. We've had some rain, but as you can see over here, we do have some bizarre action here on the volunteer potatoes. I haven't grown potatoes in this tub for 2 years, and these are the remnants of those original potatoes. I'm not entirely sure which version they are. I think they're probably purple potatoes or maybe red potatoes. I'm just going to let them grow and see what happens. And then I'm going to see if I can pick up some more of these containers. They're kind of expensive, but I'm hoping I can find some on like some local offer up or something similar. I have been looking, but every time I've gone to an advert for one, somebody's like, sorry, it's already sold, which kind of sucks. Behind me, you will see that the apple trees are coming into flower, or at least getting leaves on them. Same is true over here. We've got some lovely action going on with our cherry trees over here, both the little one up front and then the bigger ones at the back. And it definitely does start to feel quite spring-like. But it's not all been happy news. So over here, while we do have the very start of some parsnips thinking about coming up, we've got one here, we've got one here, and then if I wander over here, we've got some more right here. We also have some issues with critters coming in and picking the seeds out and helping themselves. And then the other thing we're having is that the telephone line, the local telephone company, which is a cable company kind of thing, they have been working on the local telephone pole, which is fine. And I have some daffodils next to it, and they've been coming in and basically stomping all over my plants, which I am definitely not okay with, because I want to make my garden look pretty. I want to make my garden look nice. And they're coming along and just, stomping all over it. It's not particularly okay. The other thing I want to show you here is I've got some lovely sort of miniature daffs coming up here. They've got a different name and I've forgotten what they're called. We've got some tulips coming up here. I think I'm probably also going to put poppy seeds there because I really like the idea of having poppies there. I think it would look pretty. At the front of the house, my roses are absolutely happy as anything. Let me show you here. This one is Pope John Paul, a little bit of rust on there. I will just take that bit off and put it away. But the rest of these, nice, healthy growth. We're going to have flowers really soon. As with other parts of the other places in the Pacific Northwest, we've actually had a really ridiculously mild winter and generally a pretty okay spring. We've had some on and off weather issues, but generally it's been pretty nice. At the front of the chicken coop here, hello Charlie and the ladies, we've got some crocuses coming up, so some there and some there. Unfortunately, Ghost and the chickens and pretty much everyone else is conspiring to prevent there being a nice display of flowers there. But you know what? These things happen. Meanwhile, I'm sad to report, unless some have popped up during the day, while my garlic is looking incredible, check out that garlic, we haven't really had a whole lot of growth in my onions or my radishes, although my radishes do seem, I'll show you now. You'll see my radishes are starting to pop up along here, and the radishes are a really good idea because the radishes are fast growing and they help mark the ground for my carrots. So when my carrots come in, they should be fine. But you can see some of the onions are starting to poke out of the ground. And over here, I think I told Erin when we were working on the thumbnail this morning that we don't have any peas popping up, but now I come back and I do see some potential pea shoots. I'm going to pretend I don't see them because I don't want people to come in and eat them. But if you look here, there might be one there. That will be a pea row. In here we have some fava beans. So hopefully there'll be some growth there. And as I think I said last time, I put so many seeds in there, I was kind of hopeful that not all of them would grow up. Over here, I need to clean out these onions from last year. Looks like one of them is starting to get to a point where it might give me some seeds, so I'll take care of those. I'm generally really bad at digging up things at the end of the season. Maybe I should do that and allow the ground to just exist a little more. Looks like someone is digging a hole under my greenhouse, but that also means I can show you what's going on in the greenhouse. So yeah, too long didn't read. Last weekend was kind of busy for us, so I didn't really do any garden work per se. But this week I have been doing some potting up because remember I said that I put my tomatillos in because I thought my tomatillos wouldn't germinate and I wouldn't have very many tomatillos, and it was an old packet and I was just like, yeah, whatever. Well, behold my Mexican strain tomatillos. These are all the Mexican strain tomatillos. So I've got one load here. I have another load here. And I have another load there. They've all been potted up, which is fine. These things happen. That is what we're supposed to have happen. And if you come over here, I can't remember which one is under. I think it's this one. Those are my purple tomatillos in that far one. So my purple tomatillos, fine, whatever. I ended up planting up some of my purple tomatillos over there, but I don't know if you think it must be this one. Are you in here? Let's find out. Nope, those are my brassicas. So I've got some broccoli and cabbage coming up here, which is great because I didn't think they would grow. And I put them in under a heat mat even, because I had a spare heat mat. I thought I'll just put them in there and see what's going on. So they must be, the rest of the tomatillos must be in this one. So yeah, these are the rest of the tomatillos. And you can see I only pricked out like, what's that, 8 or 9 cells. And I still have more. Goodness golly gracious. So if you live in the PNW, if you were a friend of mine, if you know me, please reach out and I will kindly give you some tomatillos. You can have 5. I do not need 30, 40 tomatillo plants of the Mexican strain and then another 10 or 20 of the purple. I really only want 1 or 2 plants of each variety. The same thing is true, unfortunately, with my tomatoes. So again, I had so many tomatoes. These are all tomatoes. They need to be potted up this weekend. What are these guys here? These are my Rainbow Heritage. So different tomato varieties. Some of them don't look so great. Some of them look very healthy indeed. I will be potting those up. Right here we have peppers. These are Californian peppers coming up, looking very happy. And then right here, these are the only plants that haven't germinated yet. They are the Omasako Kanbei peppers from Japan. The seeds are kind of old, but I'm not giving up because, as you will note here, some of these peppers haven't come up yet, and I fully expect some of these peppers to ultimately come up. At least that is my wish. I don't know why any of you watch this, but this is basically just me going, look, things are growing. I guess thank you for watching me pointing at things and going, look, plants, they're growing. But then over here, in this one, again, we have the same kind of problem that we have with the tomatillos and the tomatoes. Let me shake off the water. Look, cucumbers, many cucumbers, including varieties that I thought would never germinate. Again, they're germinating. And the fun thing is, the Japanese ones of my cucumbers aren't germinating either. So I don't know, maybe my cucumbers are racist or something. Maybe they won't germinate outside of the Japanese ones. The Japanese seeds won't germinate outside of Japan. I don't know. It's a bit of a joke. A bit of a bad joke, I know. But maybe they will germinate. We'll see. And then over here, well, my tomatoes. Okay, so I've hardened these tomatoes off, and again, you can see I have way too many tomatoes, and you'll see from the number of things here, Seattle's best of all. That's that row. I think this is Seattle's best of all as well. What's this one? San Marzo. Those are like for sauces and things. More San Marzo. Brandywine, which is a very good local tomato. More Brandywine, more Brandywine. I didn't think any of the Brandywine would germinate. Now this one is called Chocolate Sprinkles. These seeds, again, about 5, 6, 7 years old, and they've germinated. Chocolate Cherry, again, they have germinated. So I don't know how I managed to get to this point, but I did. And now I have many tomatoes that are seemingly quite happy and growing. These are my stew peas, and these are also stew peas. So I've got many, many tomatoes growing, only really one that's looking anything like it might not be very well, and it's just because it's germinated right at the edge of the edge of the cloche. When they get this big, kind of putting the lid back on does become a little bit of a challenge, because they like to get their leaves all caught up. So you sort of have to put your hand in and tidy them up. I haven't done anywhere near the amount of stuff in this place that I need to. So last weekend I went and got some more things. I picked up some fertilizer, because fertilizer is going to be going up in price. I also got some sheets to cover my peas and things, and then I also picked up some poppies. I think I was talking about this earlier. Some nasty Urshams, some poppies, what else? Some asters, some zinnias, more daisies, poppies as well. So marigolds, sorry. Those are marigolds. I should read the label. So these are all going to go in the garden. They are all like really good flowers for helping encourage various things in the garden and discourage other things. So that is pretty much everything that's been going on here. The chickens are doing great. They would like to be outside more often than they actually are. I need to build them a better place. We are into the time of year when coyotes get really, really hungry, and so I don't like letting the chickens out at this time of year, because the risk of me ending up with fewer chickens, not necessarily a good thing. Anyway, that is my week in the garden. Tell me about your week. Tell me what you've been up to. Oh, and one final thing. I've got to show you this, because this is my favourite thing about this time of year. And they are in the thumbnail. They're not there. They might have gone to bed, because it's kind of getting cold up here in the mountains, which is why I have my heated jacket on. Let me show you. Nope. Oh, right here. So if you look in here, there are some bee butts. That's a bee butt, bee butt, and bee butt. And the bees have been really busy waking up, starting to pollinate flowers. And these are not bumblebees. Everyone goes on about bumblebees, but actually solitary bees in this part of the world are actually more important even than bumblebees. And solitary bees are the ones that do all of the pollinating at this time of year. They'll pollinate all of your fruit trees and some of your flowers. So that's why I have so many solitary bee houses dotted around my house. And I'll be printing some more. If you want me to, let me know in the comments, and I'll maybe put a link up to some solitary bee houses. There are some great ones on various 3D printing websites. They're super easy to print, cheap to use. You just put them up on the wall and the bees will come. But you need to do it in the next week or so, because we're kind of heading towards peak bee, and they'll need somewhere to lay their eggs for larvae for the following year. So you need to get on it pretty quickly. Anyway, thanks very much to everyone for supporting us. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on either side. They are the reason that we are still here making content, and you can join them from as little as $1.50 a month. If that is not a thing that you can do, don't worry, you can still share our content, interact with us on Mastodon or Discord or our new chat platform that we've spun up. We are trying out a new open source chat platform, and I'll link to that down below as well, called Fluxer. It is an alternative to Discord. Some of you have noted that Discord has become a little bit not cool of late, and so Fluxer is a way of avoiding Discord altogether, and something I would like to support. I did spin up a server here at the house, but I don't have the bandwidth to do it properly, so right now I'm using a kind of a standard Fluxer server online, but if that changes, maybe we'll be able to do it completely independently and at the house. Anyway, thanks for being the positive change that we need to see in the world. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep evolving.